All right. Every year, millions of people start a new diet with hope and motivation. And a few weeks later, they're convinced they failed yet again. But what if the problem isn't you? What if it's the diet? Welcome to PRs and Purpose, CrossFit SolaFide's official podcast. We are your hosts, Rickey and Kimberly, and today we're talking about why most diets fail, why discipline isn't always the issue, and what actually works long-term when it comes to nutrition for real people living real lives. Let's get into today's episode. Oh, hello, everybody. We are currently in about halfway into the 800-gram challenge that we talked about. You and I are doing it. We have 20 or so members doing it as well at the same time. There's a leaderboard, so it's really cool to kind of check that out to see, how people are doing in this month or 4-week long challenge. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I was just talking about it last night as far as I'm more of a performance-based type of thought process behind it. So in workouts, I'm feeling like I can go, and I haven't felt like that in a while. And this is our second time running the challenge personally. So I had some kind of expectations on how I was going to feel and what we were going to do. But overall, it feels, because I've experienced it in the past, it feels a little bit more natural this time around, and I'm not trying to gamify it too much and like everyone else trying to eat at the very end of the day because I didn't prioritize correctly. But overall, I feel like I'm doing much better and much more consistent and not really caught up in exactly 800 grams, just trying to develop good habits. I did notice, though, that the preparation that you do for me is very much appreciated and very much needed, because when I don't open the refrigerator and they're not in nice little containers with the grams on them, I'm like,
what do I do?
I'm not gonna make it. So, and then I'm driving to the gym because I'm off for the day or something like that, and heading to the gym to take care of work and stuff, and I'm not gonna make it today, and then I'm like, that's a me problem, it's not prioritizing and not planning enough, having those things organized, and then I go straight to well, what is everyone else doing when they don't have a Kim in their life, So it's then I start to realize oh, there are real challenges to getting quality, and getting that quantity and quality under wraps, and so I start to realize that. And even the other day we were talking at the dinner table, you were like, yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get to do that this weekend, you were gone at drill, and then we got busy, and kids, and ended up spending time at the skating rink for 3 hours, and and I was like, no, it's good, that's I have priorities too, and it is my responsibility to take care of some of that meal prepping and stuff, because I know my schedule, and I didn't want you to feel like that was all on your shoulders. And in the past, it kind of just made me think, if she feels like that, it's because I've made her feel like that, So I was like, nope, that's me. I'll go to the grocery store with you. I'll chop them up this weekend. I'll be home. I'm not away this weekend, so we'll get all those milk containers back out. We'll weigh them. We'll do all this stuff. Still leave the organization up to you because you're good at that, but I'll help do the chopping and the weighing and all that good stuff.
Having someone to kind of help you do that is great. I don't know many people who are doing this as a couple. I mean, hopefully your spouse is, supportive and helping you along this journey. At least, I mean, they don't have to do it, right? But at least they're making sure you're, able to dedicate some time in your week to set yourself up for success. Because if not, and you're just kind of relying on the hours in your day to day, and we'll talk about that here shortly, those hours are going to go by fast, and it's going to get away from you. And the next thing you know, at the end of the day, it's I'm not even close to my 800 target because 1, I didn't have time to stop and eat, or 2, I didn't have anything readily available. And if it's not readily available, you're not going to eat it, and that's with everything. So planning for this is very important. But as you saw, obviously the first one, what took me a little bit longer, but I was also planning and prepping for 4 people. I was weighing and measuring for me and you, but then I was also cutting and preparing and not weighing for the boys, but I was putting their stash and their portions in the bottom fridge, because I'm like, don't touch mine that have the numbers on it, because I've already weighed it. Y'all's portions are, on the bottom fridge. But so that took a little bit longer because I was weighing and measuring and portioning out and organizing for the whole families. That took about, and even that took an hour for me to do that for, the entire family. So for someone who's doing this by themselves and they're just, buying their groceries, weighing and measuring, and then putting them either in little baggies or little containers that I do, it should take you less than like 30 minutes. So you can do that on a weekend. You can do that in the midweek, like 30 minutes really is all you need to set yourself up for success for the entire week. It lasted us all week. I didn't plan purposefully into the weekend because you weren't going to be here. So I was like, well, I have bananas and oranges and apples, things that I can like cut up and kind of get myself through. But I didn't have them neatly organized and stashed and weighed in the refrigerator.
And they're all staring at me. I'm like, dang, that looks like it took forever. But it's good. And I grab it and I just go and I log it like as soon as I.
Like I said, it doesn't take that much time.
Awesome.
You just have to be, as soon as you get home from the grocery store is usually the best time to do it, because you're already up and moving around and you've dedicated that time to put away your groceries. It's like, hey, now I'm going to spend an extra 20, 30 minutes to plan out my entire week to make sure I get close to, 800 grams. Or whatever your target is, right? There's some people that they've discovered that 800 grams is too much. So they've dialed that target back to maybe 5 or 6. Again, that's more than you were eating before. So that's all we're looking for is progress. So guys, take 20, 30 minutes and do that for yourselves. It's a huge, huge game changer.
Yeah, it definitely was. I think the first time I did the challenge, I was not, just because the first time I did it, then I saw the performance gains and feelings from it, and it really intrigued me to do it again. So this time I was a little bit more like motivated and like, I'm ready to do this because I know we're starting a new cycle at the gym too, so like the strength cycle and all that stuff. And the Open's coming up.
It kind of paired up like right with
nice
it. Yeah.
With everything we had going on the training and fitness side of things, to where I could just kind of buckle down and prepare myself to have a good cycle this year. So
yeah,
it was pretty fun. So just like me, there's a lot of people that start, and I wouldn't call this a diet. Right? I don't call this or consider this a diet by any means. But there are a lot of people out there, like you stated, that like start diets, especially in the new year, because it's like new year, new me mindset. Why do you think most people start diets super motivated and then a few weeks later kind of fall off? And maybe because they didn't see the results or whatever. Why do you think they fall off? Like, why do they start motivated and then just like completely fall off the wagon and be like, oh, no, that's me. Like you said, what if it's not the diet? What if it's me kind of thing? Or what if it's the diet, not me? Like why?
Yeah. So I think it's okay to call what this is a diet, like the 800 gram challenge. It is a diet per se, because I mean, when you look at diet is like the foods you consume, right? Mm-hmm. So people kind of mistreat that diet as like it has an end date, which they don't. Like my daily diet looks like this. It's predominantly whole foods, right? I focus on lean meats. I eat vegetables, fruits, nuts, seeds, all of those things, right? I focus on healthy fat. So that's what my diet looks like. It's not a diet in the sense of like, I only do this for a short amount of time to reach a goal and then I toss it to the side, right? Which is why it's called the standard American diet or a healthier living diet, like whatever you want to call it. It's just the way how you eat. And the 800 grams is very much a way of eating. It's introducing and adding quality into your daily diet. I think there's a couple reasons to answer your question on, why many people start a diet and feel super motivated and confident at the beginning, but then, tends to fall off a few weeks later. It could be something, like the all or nothing mindset thinking, having unrealistic expectations. It could be, trying to change too many things at once. And then obviously we're human and we live lives and we have busy schedules and stress and all of those things, right? And ignoring those and thinking that because you started this new me, new you, or new year, new me type of mantra, that your life is just going to go perfectly and your schedule is going to somehow miraculously work out and give you more hours in your day. You're not going to be stressed anymore. And again, that falls into the like unrealistic expectations bucket, right? I kind of want to touch on two of them because the list can be very long on why it falls off, right? We're all human. We all have our reasons. We all have things that come up. So, but two of the things that I have experienced either through clients or through, myself and my own journey. That first one is that all or nothing mindset or thinking. I think I think we can say that most of our clients come in wanting to lose weight, right? Well, they're also interested in like long-term health and fitness markers. There's usually a weight component associated to that, right? Whether it's I want to lose weight, I want to gain weight, whatever it might be. The other effects of like gaining mobility and increasing, their blood work levels and things like that, like those are all those come with it as well. But rarely do we have someone come in and they're like, I want to improve my blood markers or whatever. It's like, I want to lose weight. I want to gain muscle. I want something, around that realm.
Yeah, they have an outcome and they want to.
Right. And it's centered around weight, right? There was a survey done in 2020, and from that survey, they concluded that the average adult will try 126 diets in their lifetime. So that, yeah. And that includes anything from like the no sugar diet, going super low carb or no carb, to the ones that are a little bit more extreme, like I'm only going to drink these 3 shakes a day. And they keep trying new ones because these traditional diets just haven't proven to be sustainable, right? And when you've gone through this many, they all kind of have a same theme, right? And some, in their own unique way, they're all limiting calories, right? Whether it's I'm only drinking these 3 shakes a day, like that's all I'm allowed to eat, right? You probably reduced your calorie intake, right? Or I'm going no carb or very low carb. It's like, okay, cool. You've now reduced your calories. Or I'm cutting out all sugar. I'm not eating any sugar. It's like, great. You've now reduced your calories. Like, so all of them have that theme of like, you're reducing calories, even intermittent fasting. It's like you give yourself an eating window, and it's typically during the day, right? No one's eating window is going to be midnight to 6 a.m., right? Unless you're shift work. But again, shift work is not really like, yes, your time of the day is different, but you still treat it as like, this is when you're awake and you're at work, right? So those who are on like who work nights, it's still your busiest time. I'm talking about like no one's doing it from midnight to 6 when they're supposed to be sleeping. That's not your eating window. That's what I mean by that. So taking our busy schedules and taking in our, stress levels and things like that, something like intermittent fasting, when I only have a short window to eat, I'm still going to be busy. If I don't plan, I'm probably not going to eat. So again, what are you doing? You're limiting your calories, right? You're reducing your overall calorie intake. So with that, it's kind of just like they have these extremes where it's like, no this, never this, only this, and after a while, it kind of bogs people down, right? Because one, it's not sustainable. It's not enjoyable. Like the length of time that someone's going to do something that they don't enjoy is not very long. And how we eat is the same way. So if you're not enjoying it because it's super restrictive, or you went from like this end of the spectrum to this end of the spectrum in eating, it's like you're gonna be hungry and you're not gonna be enjoying it. Why in the heck would you continue this for years and years to come? Like you're not. So having that all or nothing mindset is kind of, one of the bigger ones that I see.
Yeah, that's huge. I think when you put, like, if someone's tried a diet, they're associating diet with 126 failed attempts.
Absolutely.
So then the next nutrition regimen, whether you see it as a diet, they go straight to diet. This is a 4, 6, 8 week, 12 week diet that I'm going to have to do all of these things. And if I don't execute them perfectly, that's why they never worked out. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So when I read diet, and I don't even do a lot of dieting, like fad diets and everything, I have done intermittent fasting on a deployment and stuff. The results for that for guys and girls are vastly different. Not something that's sustainable, not something for social life, all that good stuff. But like I can definitely see how that word diet and just explaining it that way is already kind of shifted. Like, oh yeah, I guess it's just the way I eat, and your lifestyle and your habits kind of help you eat that way, and as long as you build good habits, then like, yeah, that is a diet. There's no end goal to it though. There's no like 6 week lose this much weight in 10 weeks, and there's none of that. It's like this is how I eat. Right. Yeah, okay, gotcha. That makes sense. Yeah. What's the second one you wanted to hit on?
So trying to do too many things at once. Think of these like, the types of diets out there, the types of fad things that, you have a long list of things that you have to check off in a day. Again, thinking about how busy we are, our work schedules, family schedules, all of those things, you go from let's say best case scenario, you do 2 out of the 5 things, right, in the day. Now you're trying to add 3 more brand new things, brand new routines that you've never implemented in your life. up until, starting this challenge or whatever you want to call it. And then now you're, instead of having to focus on like 2 things that will improve your quality of life, now there's 5, right? The likelihood of that sticking is very, 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 very slim. And there's tons of research on it, on why that doesn't. There was another psychology study that they did that the average time for a lifestyle and diet change to stick is 66 days. And that's to stick, not to like implement and kind of see, if it works, if it doesn't work. It's like, this now is part of my daily routine. It's habitual. It's automatic. I don't really have to think about it. It's roughly 66 days, depending on, what specifically you're working on. And I think trying to change too many things at once, again, you're just kind of setting yourself up for failure, because it's not likely to happen. Like, the odds aren't in your favor, unfortunately. And to be honest, change takes a lot longer than we want it to. And we think just because we feel motivated or because it's January that it's going to come quicker for us. And it's just not. Like, we're in a world now where, instant gratification is a thing. They've made, with AI, or they've made all of these other things that like we can almost instantly get the answers to some questions. We can very instantly get solutions to problems, right? But what those things don't do is it doesn't do the work for you. Like, you still have to put in the work. So asking, or like expecting the body to react in an instant kind of gratification mode, just like we do with ChatGPT and things like that, where we want instant answers, or, write this up for me in like 3 or 4 sentences, and it's like click and it does it, right? The body doesn't work that way. Like, we're not robots. So I can't tell my body, hey, I want to make this change. Let's speed this up. I don't have a lot of time. Go, right? We're not there. So I think not, giving ourselves grace and that patience for that to happen, again, is another kind of downfall to that. And then that's just with doing one thing. And when we try to do 5, again, like it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, especially for someone that says,
yeah. When you told me you're super busy, but now you want to take on 5 new things, like, good luck. And it's just.
And I think it's because some people think that those things sound simple. You know what I mean? Like, adding this, subtracting this, doing this, like, oh, that's simple. I have time for that because it's simple. But then they realize really fast that, like, even though it sounds simple, it's not easy.
Right. Yeah. Those are 2 words that get mixed up a lot too. So like, when I say it's simple, I'm not saying that this is going to be easy for you. I'm not saying that you can sit back and, because you're taking, a simple route, or you're taking and you're trying to establish simple habits, that it's going to be easy. It's not. There's still change that has to happen. And there's still change, not only like with the body, but with the brain. Like, the brain is a super, super smart, muscle, that it's like everything we do that we don't even realize we do because it's subconscious thinking. It's like movements and twitches and all of those things. Like, our brain and our body knows what's going on, but we don't, because we're super focused on, external factors that are going on in our lives, like work and school and things like that. So just not even realizing that, like, there's constantly things going on in the brain that we just aren't even aware of, which is why we want to be able to give ourselves enough time to work on one thing at a time. Like, let's use the 800-gram challenge. It's like, yes, we do this for 4 weeks, but the goal isn't, the whole purpose of it isn't for you to ditch it after 4 weeks. It's like, give yourself 4 weeks of honest, true work, right? You're logging, you're measuring, you're weighing, so you have a better eye to be able to do this without a scale. But you have to work at it for 4 weeks, right? After that, you will continue, and you will continue to perfect that eye, and you will continue to get more efficient at your planning and prepping and things like that, to where it gets to the point where it is now an automatic habit, just like brushing your teeth, right? But during those 4 weeks, it's not going to be easy, because we need accountability, and we need someone telling us or reminding us, whether it's someone or something like our phones, a reminder on our phone of like, hey, you got to do this, right? Just like, and I use the teeth brushing thing a lot, because it's like with our kids, when you're trying to teach brushing your teeth as like, we do this every morning and every night, do you have to tell the kids 5 times and they get it and they do it? No, there's a long time. There's absolutely. For them, it's years. And for some adults, it might be years for this habit to really stick, depending on how much work they put in. But it's like, yeah, the kids don't wake up motivated to brush their teeth. I have to be there to be like, did you brush your teeth? Go brush your teeth. Did you brush your teeth? Go brush your teeth. Did you brush your teeth? Go, like, over and over and over and over again. It's the same thing when we're trying to establish new routines in our own life. It's like, I need a coach to help hold me accountable to be like, did you eat your veggies? Did you eat your fruit? Go eat your veggies and fruit. Did you eat your veggies? Did you eat your fruit? No. Go eat your veggies and fruit. Right? And it's like you do that on repeat until you start to wake up, you plan your meals, you plan your lunches, you plan everything, you plan how you're going to eat, what you eat. And just like you wake up and you brush your teeth, that's how you're going to be eating. It's like, I'm going to wake up and this is how I eat and I have an eye for this. And when I go to the grocery store or when I go somewhere on vacation, I go to a restaurant, my eye is going to look for fruits, vegetables, lean meats, nuts, seeds, all of those things that like I habitually consume every day. But I don't wake up feeling super fueled and or motivated to be like, I'm going to eat all the fruits and veggies, or I'm going to go and get my workout in. Like a lot of people think people who are active and fit and, you know, live a healthy lifestyle wake up and they're just motivated every day to do what they want to do. And I'm like, absolutely not. We just did it for a long enough period of time to where we wake up, no matter how I'm feeling, I'm still going to brush my teeth. Like if I had a bad day, if I slept for 4 hours, if I had a stressful day at work, before I go to bed, I'm going to brush my teeth. Like same thing, no matter how I'm feeling, feelings don't dictate what I put in my body. Like I'm going to continue to eat those things. Will cravings come? Yes, because cravings are a natural thing. But I'm not going to overconsume them because as soon as I eat that cookie or as soon as I eat that donut, whatever it is, I eat it and I'm like, nah, okay, I satisfied the craving, but I don't need to overindulge because it really didn't taste that good. Like it didn't change my mood. Like it didn't make my stress any less. And that's always a question that I kind of chuckle at whenever I have clients who are talking about, you know, well, this was super stressful or, you know, whatever it might be. And they're like, well, I just had this craving and I ate this. And I'm like, how did you feel after you ate it? Like, did your stress go away? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, so you're eating it because, or you're telling me that you ate it because you were stressed, but it didn't solve your stress problem. Like, let's actually incorporate something that's not food to solve your stress problem so you're not stressed anymore. Because if that's your goal, to not be stressed, and eating food doesn't help solve that goal, like, why is that I know why. Yeah. Like, we need to change that automatic response to that trigger. Yeah. Because how you're responding right now to that trigger of stress is not getting you closer to the lifestyle that you want. So we need to replace that response. Mm-hmm.
And once it's triggered, you have a processor. That's right. Kind of it, right? A lot of interesting studies inside of that Atomic Habits book that really hammers home the importance of that stuff. So that's great. I do agree that the all or nothing mindset and, you know, trying too many things at once do play a role in why people kind of lose motivation. What are some of the biggest mistakes you think people make if you had to choose, you know, 1 to 2 of them that are on repeat when people come in and say, well, this is why? But what do you think those mistakes are when it comes to dieting?
Yeah. So, in addition to, you know, trying to make too many changes at once, I think cutting out entire food groups.
So like the no carb diet or
right. If it's not medically necessary, right? If you weren't diagnosed with certain, you know, GI issues or, you know, medical conditions that require you to, yes, not eat certain foods, I get that, right? But for people who are just trying these fad diets for the sake of, you know, trying to lose weight and you don't have any kind of underlying medical conditions, cutting out entire food groups because someone said that this is how they lost weight and it worked for them. Again, we're not robots. All of our bodies are different. What worked for someone, what worked for my sister or my friend might not work for me, right? There's so many other factors that play into, you know, how a person carries their weight and how a person loses weight or gains muscle and things like that. Whatever body composition route you want to go, like this applies, right? I think the reason why cutting out entire food groups and, you know, going the either no carb or no sugar, or again, because they're all related to calorie deficits. And when we take an extreme calorie deficit to, you know, to our diet, we're left hungry. Yeah, and no one wants to be feeling hungry.
But
like
as an adult, you definitely don't want to be feeling hungry.
You know,
obviously kids, I don't agree. The kids should not feel hungry either. Don't get me wrong. But like as an adult, you're like, I'm hungry because of my choices.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like...
Yeah. I'm choosing. I'm choosing to eat this way, and I'm feeling this way about it. Like, heck no, I don't want.
I signed up for this challenge, and this is what it should.
And I'm always hungry.
Yeah.
Like we hear that a lot. Like from clients who are talking about past diets that they've tried or past challenges that they tried. So when like aggressive calorie deficits tend to increase appetite, like that's just what they're going to do. You're hungry, like you're not eating as much as you used to. And I think when we don't feel satisfied, it's our natural instinct to eat, obviously. This is a basic survival instinct. And we can't ignore it. Like no matter how much you want to, or you think you have willpower or, whatever, you can't ignore it. It's not enjoyable. No one wants to be feeling that way. And I think it's why GLP-1 drugs have been so successful in people struggling with weight, because those medications are able to reduce their natural appetite, cravings, and hunger. That's what they're designed to do. They work. That's why they work, right? Because of the hunger hormone the hunger hormones that we naturally have whenever we're eating in an extreme, calorie deficit. The medication is there to help mimic that, right? So as soon as we eat, we feel full quicker. But again, it's something that and I'm going to tie this again back to the 800 grams because we're going through it, and I'm pretty sure people are experiencing this. I hear it a lot, and I know I've felt it myself, and I know you've felt it because we've talked about it. But the feeling of fullness that we have by trying to get, that 800 grams in target, which is why I said some people might need to lower that, because again, not only do we not want to feel extreme hunger pains, but we don't want to feel unnecessarily full all the time either. Like that's not enjoyable. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. So some people might have to bring that target down. But consuming the additional grams of fruits and vegetables that we're eating and we're adding to our diet increases obviously the vitamins, the minerals, and the fiber that we're consuming. And those three things, fiber especially, they help kind of expand the stomach. So when we eat that volume, or we increase our volume in fruits and vegetables, we start to get those natural feelings, and our stomach starts to connect those feelings to our brain to tell us like, hey, we're full. Right. So that fullness is a natural feeling as long as we listen to our body cues and stop. Right. It's the people that, are doing this for the sake of the number and they continue to eat. I'm like, you're going to feel miserable. Don't do that to yourself. Like you're missing the point of this entire thing. Like getting connected with our stomach and our brain again, and listening and feeling those hunger cues and those levels of satiety and fullness actually be established through whole foods. That's what we want, right? That's the goal of it.
I agree. I think when people associate that word challenge, though, with a diet and those things, and there's rewards and there's points and stuff like that, people are going to gamify it, kind of like I did at the beginning of the first challenge I did. It says challenge, it's advertising, it's appealing. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this thing. And then if you know that your word is challenge, and it's like, well, I should be uncomfortable. I should be discomforted.
Right.
I should do these things. And you're telling yourself that, I'm doing this for this period of time, and it's a challenge. So you kind of like try to grit your teeth and just get to 800 grams. But I could see how that's could be problematic down the road, though, for sure. Because you're not really like, why am I doing this? Like, what's the intent behind this? It's not to get 800 grams every night and be the top of the leaderboard. It's
to increase your levels of satiety and fullness in a non-pharmaceutical way, right? Without the medications, and to know how that feels. Because naturally, when we feel full and we've increased our volume in the number of fruits and vegetables and potatoes and corn and avocados and all the other things that are, on this or part of this 800 grams. There's a long list of things to create a wide variety for people to choose from. When we start to eat that and we start to, feel full, and that fullness extends throughout the day, we are less likely to overconsume on the calorically dense snacks and foods, right? So in a way, we're able to reduce our caloric intake, not in an extreme way, but by also not feeling like we're restrictive or that we're overly hungry. Like, I don't know anyone who went through the 800 gram challenge and went through an honest effort and came out and was like, I felt hungry the whole time. There's no way, because the amount of volume that you're increasing or that you're adding to what you're already eating outside of that, like there's no way that you're going to feel hungry because of the vitamins, minerals, and fibers in there.
Cutting out food groups you don't recommend. And that's kind of some of the biggest mistakes you see, right? Do you have another one for that?
Yeah, ignoring your own lifestyle and routines. So,
yeah, cutting out social settings and stuff like that.
Yeah, or like, again, incorporating the I can't go there, I can't do this, I can't do... Again, it's not enjoyable. It's not going to be something that you're going to find sustainable because you just don't enjoy doing it. Like, and that goes for everything else in life. Like, your diet or your, how you eat is not going to be any different in that approach.
Yeah, I think believing that it's a challenge, it's a diet, that I have to be uncomfortable to see progress, Or
I have to remove all of everything else around me and isolate myself to really only focus on this one thing when that's not realistic either.
From a mental standpoint, that's not.
It's not. Yeah.
It's definitely not healthy.
Yeah. If you're starting a new habit but relying on old routines, you're not going to get new results. So that's when we talk about hey, this is going to require work. This is going to require some change. But should it be disruptive to your current lifestyle? No. That's what we mean by simple. Yeah. It should seamlessly and simply fit into your current lifestyle or replace things that are no longer serving you or giving you the results that you want. That's the simplicity of it. But it's not going to be easy because there are going to be things that you're used to doing or that you're, are on autopilot that it's we now need to switch that.
Yeah, it's interesting to see what people will sacrifice for their, shift in habits.
Yeah.
And what they won't sacrifice,
Yeah.
Whether it's time, social settings, or, I always do this, or work. And work comes in more. I hear people complain about work, or at least have the excuse of work does this, more than they say, well, my kids or my wife, or, you know what I mean? Or my family or my dad or my brother or my sister always needs me. It's literally they prioritize work. And I wonder if that comes from, feeling attentive or feeling needed at work, because people, if you give them attention at work and you're a workhorse and you have some kind of competence, they're going to keep coming back to you over and over.
Right.
And over. So, for some of those people, I feel like I hear the same kind of comment come from them. It's when they call or I reach out through, a website form or something like that, I'm always trying to figure out, can we help this person reach their goal? It's what is your goal, right? What made you click on the website today? What made you call us? What made you look for a gym here in Clarksville? Then from there, I'm like, cool, how long have you been thinking about achieving that goal, right? What have you tried in the past? What worked well? What didn't work well? It's just a question. I'm so curious about this person because most of the time I'm like, why didn't it work? What was the biggest obstacle that got in the way for you either to not attend the gym or to drop off the nutrition? And most of the time they either come up with work schedule change, right? Or they'll say, I just don't think I'm disciplined enough.
Right. Yeah.
Is that actually true? Do you think people aren't disciplined enough?
I think for some, yes. For the people who want the easy button, right? It is going to take some discipline. It is going to take some form of, what do we call it? Being honest with ourselves, of hey, am I really giving this a solid effort or am I not? Tough love. That's what we say. So sometimes when we're going through or when we're trying to incorporate, new routines and new lifestyles that, again, fit the ultimate lifestyle that we want to be living, we have to give ourselves some tough love sometimes. And then on the other side, we have to give ourselves some grace. If the day got away from you and you can kind of look back on your day and be like, hey, did I help even set myself up for success? Did I attempt to bring something to work? Did I attempt to, walk away from my desk and give myself, 10 minutes to go out for a walk? Or did I give myself the opportunities? If you can sit there and be like, I did, and I just got pulled away, or I didn't have a single moment to focus on myself because work was just extremely chaotic, then it's okay. Give yourself some grace and be like, hey, that's fine. Try again tomorrow. But if you look back and you're like, well, I didn't really plan and I could have gotten up at this time to go, but I just really didn't feel like it, or I was feeling sore from yesterday, so I just didn't want to move at all. It's okay, well then that's when tough love needs to come in, because it's you had the opportunity, you could have done it, you could have done something different, and you chose not to. That's on you. and having that balance of both, I think is necessary. But I also think understanding that our environment shapes our behavior in so many ways, right? And a lot of that has to do with people's confidence in their own autonomy to make these changes on their own. Sometimes they can't do it on their own, and they need, again, additional accountability and support from a coach or from someone who, understands this and understands them through, being curious and asking questions. And that's super important for, if you're looking for a coach, is finding someone who's actually interested in you. And they're not just going to give you a list of things to do and be like, all right, here you go. We'll have a follow-up in 4 weeks and cool, see you then. Right. Or it's like, hey, are they checking in on you? Are they asking like, hey, I've noticed that you haven't been doing these things. What's going on? Like, or celebrating those small victories and those small wins throughout your journey to help build that confidence in yourself to do these things without, a coach and things like that. Because, the sad truth is we want to say that we have a really great support system, and most people go around and they're like, oh yeah, my support system's really great. And then I'm like, all right, cool. List the 5 people that you spend most of your time with. And they can't. And I'm like, okay, so we don't have a lot of, I'm like, we don't, or they're like, oh, my husband, my kids. I'm like, take your spouse is important. So keep your spouse. Your kids don't count. Like, your kids aren't your support system.
So funny. We tell our kids all the time.
And then they're like, oh, okay, well, and I'm like, okay, so support is a big thing. We need to find people who are like-minded or who are supportive in our journey and in our changes, especially the people that we're around the majority of the time, which includes people at work. Like, if you have people at work that, yes, you know them, you have conversations with them, you work with them, you see them every day. If you show up with your packed lunch and you typically go out, for lunch, and you show up and they're giving you crap about bringing your own lunch, like, newsflash, that's not very supportive. Like, whether they say they're joking or not, like, they can blanket it in a joke and laugh about it, but that's not being supportive. Knowing that, like, hey, I'm working on myself, I'm trying to make better choices, and now I'm going to feel excluded from whatever's happening because I made a better choice for myself. And sadly, that happens with family members as well. As we, as I've continued to do this for, 3-4 years, it happens with family too. It's like someone decides to make this very important change and they're not met with that support.
Yeah.
I think that's hard.
That is hard. We tell our kids all day, and sometimes it happened, and who said it, and how did that make you feel, and all of these things. They're like, well, I just don't know why they would do that. I don't know why they would say that or do that. And I'm like, sometimes you have to understand the people that you spend the most time with, like inside your house. Like, when you step outside this house, like, it's a world of like all kinds of rules, and people follow and don't follow, and you just have to understand that, like, you have to give that person grace because you don't know what they're going through and all of this stuff. And when you need a support system, like, you need to have friends that you can talk to about these things. You need to have, not necessarily, I would say, courage or anything, just like have the understanding that, like, hey, if someone does something or says something or not supportive, like, you have the ability to either talk to that person or, like, maybe even remove that person from your, your support system or who you call friends, who you spend time with. One of the biggest things that I hear a lot of people talk about on the phone is all the failures. I ask, like, well, what have you done that worked well and what stuck? The majority of people don't have a lot of things that worked well or like they haven't found success yet. And I just try to remind them before we move forward in the phone call, I'm like, hey, it's okay that you've failed at these things or you've told yourself that you failed at these things, right? Like, failure is just feedback.
Yeah,
right?
It's not your identity.
It's not your identity, and it's not where we need to move from, and I'm not going to focus on your failures.
Right.
I want to know what you've tried and stuff like that, because if our membership aligns with things that you've tried and not stuck to, I'll let you know, like, hey, we're going to offer the same thing, right? And very few people call to me like, I have CrossFit experience and it failed. You know what I mean? Like, I've never taken a call since owning the gym where someone's like, I've tried CrossFit before and it didn't work, but I'm going to give it a shot again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's just that, but like, when we talk a little bit more about like why diets tend to fail like long term, because even though they work short term, there are some diets out there, if you just buckle down, live through the discomfort, do the thing, you're going to see your weight loss. But why don't they end up working long term for people? Like, why are most diets like got good results for a short period of time, maybe they plateau, and it's not something you sustain long term, and they're looking for the next thing?
I mean, I just feel like going back to, people either saying or relying on like discipline that either they do have or they don't have. I don't think discipline is ultimately the problem. I think lack of structure is. And, going back to, our environment and shaping our behavior, the easiest environment that we can manipulate and we have most control over is our home environment, right? I have control on what I bring into my house via the grocery store. I have control of, what's in my pantry and what's in my refrigerator. And if I am making this choice to, shift those behaviors to add in more fruits and veggies or, limit and reduce my sugar intake or increase my water intake, whatever it might be, I have most control of that in my own home. So I'm going to start there. Right. And then what that's subconsciously going to do, that's going to build my confidence in my own ability and my autonomy to make these decisions and to follow through with these decisions. Then and only then can I take that and take that confidence and take it outside of my home to my workplace. Right. So I've gone through enough good days and bad days to where I'm like, I've noticed the barriers that come up that can kind of like derail me from, this new habit. And I was able to navigate through it and get through it and stay on track. So once you put yourself through enough days of that, then it's like, all right, now I'm going to go into my workplace and I'm going to try to set myself up for success there. Meaning I'm going to pack my lunch, or minimum, I'm going to pack my snacks, right? If you want to continue going out to lunch with your coworkers, great. Make a more mindful choice at that restaurant. Maybe look at the menu ahead of time to see if there's ways that you can add in more fruits and vegetables to something that you typically get. Maybe through some swaps, and keep that. But you also have control of what you eat outside of that lunch hour as well, meaning your snacks. So rather than failing to convenience and going towards the vending machine or going towards the break room and just taking in, oh, well, this is what I have available. No, you could have brought your own stuff. Like you could have, you could have taken that confidence that you've built at home by stocking your fridge and pantry with better options. You then take that with you to work, right? And then from there, you go out into the more challenging things like vacations and traveling. It's like, hey, I still have control on what I put in my mouth, whether I'm at the airport or whether it's a 10-hour car ride to Texas like we do. I'm going to pack my things. I'm going to pack, some shelf-stable things that I can put in my backpack for the airplane ride. So I'm not stuck eating pretzels and no fruit and sodas and all of those things. It's like I could get a water bottle, fill it at the airport. Yeah, take it to the airport, empty, and then fill it at the airport. And then I have my snacks in my bag. So I don't have to, one, go the entire plane ride without eating anything. But two, I now have that control. Same thing with traveling or in the car ride. Like I stop and get gas and that's all I get because I have all of my snacks and stuff in my bag ready to go.
So I mean, when we say diets don't, work a long time and stuff. And what I hear you saying, like consistency started with balanced meals, awareness over like obsession on things, right? Building confidence like inside your home before you try to go and take on the environment outside the four walls of your house, A couple of last questions I probably would have is like, how can someone start improving their nutrition without feeling overwhelmed? Because if they hear simple, then they understand if they've tried diets 126 times, they know that it can be overwhelming, and that's why they stop. Like, what's one? Let's just go with one thing that you're like, hey, this is the first thing you do. Let's preach what we're practicing here with a small habit that's repeatable. What do you think?
I mean, I think you just said it. You start with one habit. That's repeatable. That's really the that's the thing. Like, just work on one thing and decide what that thing is. Do you want it to be movement centric? Like, do you want it to be I need to get my steps in and be more active throughout my day because I'm not? Is it nutrition focused where now that I'm hearing it and thinking about it, I don't think I get any fruits and vegetables throughout my day. Okay, cool. Try adding a banana in the morning or try add a banana sometime throughout the day, or baby carrots. Like, choose something that you enjoy eating and try to incorporate that every day, right? Start small, and then you just build on that as your confidence increases. Like, the more you do something, the more confident you're going to be in doing that thing. We've seen it in fitness, and I've seen it in nutrition with clients. Starting one thing.
Well, cool. So starting with one small habit that's repeatable is good. thinking about, consistency over perfection, right? When we think about that, and with people's repeated failures at 126 diets on average, not saying that everyone's there, but on average, where do you think grace plays a role in building sustainable nutrition habits?
I think understanding that nutrition is a stewardship that we have, to our bodies, and it's not punishment. Like, I'm choosing to eat more, higher quality foods because it makes my body feel better and I feel better. Or I'm choosing to, exercise more or walk more or focus on my mental health more because I'm a better person, and then that makes me better for those around me, my family, right? Knowing that that's our job. We get one body our entire lifetime, and we have to be good stewards of that. Meaning, I need to feed it nourishing foods. I need to treat it in a way that, like, I'm supportive of it. I don't want to trash my body and not move because, one, that doesn't make anybody feel great, but it also shortens the amount of time that I have on this earth, right? If I have any control on how long I live, those two factors greatly either improve or decrease the amount of years that I have on this earth. Outside factors I don't have control of. If I get hit by a car, if I get in an accident, I don't have control of that, right? But I do have control of what I put in my body and how I move my body. And those two things can make a huge impact on how long I live. Not only how long I live, because people can extend their life through medications, but I don't want to be a vegetable for an extra 10 years because machines are keeping me alive or medications are keeping me alive and I'm moseying on through. To me, depressing. I want to be thriving all the way through my end years, quality nutrition and a fitness routine, maintaining my strength and my independence. That's where it's going to come from. So I think understanding that and knowing that, again, we're not perfect, we're not robots, and continuing to show up even after the hard days, because that's just life. Like, just because this seems simple or this is easy for us now because we've done it for so long, does not mean that we have hard days. We have hard days just like everybody else. Everybody has hard days. Everybody has stress. Everybody has a busy work day or a busy work week. Everybody has to travel at some point. No one is immune, or no one is the exception to time. We all get 24 hours in our day. And they're not an exception to any kind of stress or seasons, difficult seasons. Like, we all experience it. But it's like, how am I going to continue to show up for myself when, not if, but when those things come up? Am I going to continue to put myself and my health as a priority and get through this, knowing that, like, I'm not going to hit the nail on the target every single time, but I am going to continue to progress and move forward in some capacity. So, like, taking it back to a target number, like, every day I don't hit 800 grams, but the next day I wake up and I'm back at it again. Like, I don't let that derail me because, like, I understand that life's going to happen. I'm going to get busy. I'm going to get pulled away. I'm going to be stressed. I'm going to go through seasons where, like, I just don't feel like it. Cool. Everyone has that, where it's like, hey, I'm just in a funk, or, I'm feeling a little bit, like, sad or depressed. Like, that's a normal thing. I agree, but we just can't allow ourselves to stay stuck in that.
For sure. I know, like, I'm big on the atomic. I said it before on other podcasts. You don't rise, and pairing that with the purpose of setting goals is to win the game, right? But the purpose of building systems is to continue playing the game. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about life and fitness and health, right? We're not going to set this goal or outcome goal of losing this weight or doing this and put pressure on a diet and all these habits have to change. It's like, I'm going to continue to do these things and produce this, like, building block system to where I keep stacking things on top of each other so that I can do this well into my 70s and 80s. So, like, doing that. But I think you've answered the majority of, if not all of the questions I had, like, leading up to, like, some of the things you were talking about and stemmed. If you want to give any kind of practical takeaways, or you want to just do like a small, like, closing reflection or anything like that?
Yeah, I just think, again, no one's really alone in any of this. And I think if someone listens to this episode and only changes one thing this week, easiest thing for me is to say, try to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into your daily eating. again, I talked about it, it's going to help with your satiety levels. It's going to help you feeling fuller longer. It's going to introduce more vitamins, minerals, and fiber into your diet, which all of those are fibers, not, but vitamins and minerals that, the fruits and vegetables contain are essential for, for our bodies, meaning we're not going to get them anywhere else. So if we're not getting enough of that, then yes, we're not going to feel our best. So incorporate, right? Don't restrict, don't eliminate, don't try to take out or swap, or you're just trying to get more fruits and vegetables. And the goal that we use is 800 grams, which is, if you don't have a scale, totally fine. It's 6 closed fists, right? Which is 6 cups. If you want to, measure it that way. But also, like, you're not broken and you haven't failed. Again, it's don't take on don't take on that identity, knowing that most diets and challenges and especially the fad diets they're not designed for sustainability. They're designed for quick results that aren't lasting, So definitely if this episode hit home, I definitely want you to understand that you are capable of change. But you don't have to do it through punishment, restriction, or shame. Start small, be consistent, and give yourself grace along the way. And if you know someone who's convinced that they failed at nutrition and they've taken on that failed identity or that failure identity, share this episode with them. They might just need a better plan, not more discipline. But that's going to do it for today's episode of PRs and Purpose. Thanks for being part of the SolaFide community. We hope that you keep chasing progress, stay grounded in purpose, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
See you.
Bye.